for most major cities in the US, the average woman under 30 is making more than the average guy under 30.
Really?
Yeah, I think as of recently.
I thought like historically guys have always made more than women.
I think this was specifically under 30. Because I think what ends up happening, and I've like looked into this, but
Does that count like athletes and shit? Because there's no way. Is this like corporate America or what?
I think it's like up until a certain amount. Because I think you're right. I think this would exclude athletes because obviously male athletes would be dominating. But I think it's corporate, medical, and like entrepreneurs up until a certain point. Because I think what ends up happening
until they hit 30, you're saying women have a little bit higher salary, but what, when 30 comes, it switches and then men go past
men
women?
tend to take, quote unquote, take over. So there's
Interesting.
I think there's a few reasons. I think number one, guys were taking longer to, because women do a lot better in school. At least that's what keep hearing. They're doing better in the workforce right after school, and they're doing really well. At least in major cities, that's what I read. Whereas guys, we're more like, I think the percentage of guys who are entrepreneurs and stuff is higher for guys than girls, and so that makes sense as to why.
I believe that for sure.
Yeah, that would make more sense as to why ladies are making more money right off the bat in their younger years, whereas guys, it takes a second to kind of build something. But then, yeah, once you get to that 30, the guys, quote unquote, take over, and then maybe some women leave the workforce because of kids or whatever, shit like that. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
There's probably also guys are more of a risk takers as well overall, especially as they're young. This, a lot of guys are like, okay, if I'm going to take a risk, I'm going to do it now while I have time, youth, and freedom on my side. And I think probably for the most part, if you're a female coming out of college, you're probably going to look for like stability like right away.
Stability immediately. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, but that's a good point. I didn't think about athletes. So I don't know. I'll have to find it and probably send it to you, and then we could.
But the percentage of athletes, though, in the grand scheme of things, is so small. Although athletes, blow male athletes blow women athletes out of the water when it comes to salaries. In the grand scheme of things, those male athletes, is less than 1% of the actual population that is working from the ages of 18 to 30.
True. Very
so, although they make a lot more money, it's probably such a small percentage that it probably doesn't make up for it.